Basketball, particularly men's college basketball, is debatably one of the most entertaining sports to watch. Each team has their own culture, rivals, types of fans, and just a unique atmosphere around them, and that is what makes the game so interesting. We'll go over the history of basketball, how college basketball is different from high school and professional basketball, and go into details about a few of the great college basketball teams. From peach baskets to Rams and Nets, let's talk about the evolution of the game. While there is no clear-cut inventor of basketball, Dr. James Naismith is given the credit because he wrote the original 13 Rules of Basketball in 1891 as a project for his local YMCA. The game was originally played with nailed-up peach baskets, soccer balls, 9 players per team, and imagine this, no dribbling. The game of basketball blew up almost immediately, with its first collegiate game being played just 4 years after the game was invented, and the first professional league starting in 1898. The peach baskets weren't even replaced with nets until 7 years after the professional league had begun. Over time, basketball has evolved to become both a lot safer and a lot more enjoyable with the new additions and rules. As I mentioned earlier, dribbling wasn't a thing in the early days of basketball, but now that's one of the biggest aspects of the game, as well as the introduction of the three-point line and the shot clock. Now that we've been over the basics of the sport as a whole, let's dive deeper into the difference between high school, college, and professional basketball. College basketball is the only sport where there are two 20-minute halves. High school, NBA, and women's college basketball all play 4 quarters with a halftime. College basketball as a whole is just more competitive. The athletes aren't getting paid, so they try their hardest to show out for the NBA scouts to hopefully become a professional one day. However, the NBA, the athletes get paid no matter how well they play, so they just go out there. The overall intensity of the game is better. In the NBA, when people dunk, it's just a normal, nonchalant thing. But if you've ever seen college athletes such as Keldon Johnson or half the other guys, they'll let you hear it when they dunk. Another interesting thing about college basketball is March Madness. March Madness is the most intense time for sports during the year. Games all day long. It's a winner-go-home tournament, and every fan is trying to get that perfect bracket. Fans going all out to support their team in the championship run. It's just an amazing thing to witness. Rivalries. Some professional teams have rivals, but none compared to the rivalries that we see in men's college basketball. For example, the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers were considered rivals for the past few years in the NBA, but the Warriors swept the Cavs easily in 4 games to win the championship last year. However, it doesn't matter the skill level between two rival teams in college. It will always be a dogfight to the finish. Number 1 seed Duke just lost to rival number 8 seed UNC, or University of North Carolina, just recently, which was considered as a big upset. There's a lot of rivals in college basketball for many different reasons. It could be based on how close the two colleges are or just what has happened in the past between them. Lastly, and personally my favorite part of men's college basketball, is the culture of some of the great teams. The first team I want to talk about has to be the University of Kentucky, the Wildcats. With an all-time record of 2,287 wins and 704 losses as of February 22, 2019, and with 8 NCAA Division I championships, the second most of all time, it's easy to see that the Kentucky Wildcats have always been an elite program. The Wildcats are currently in what the fans call the Cal era, named after head coach John Calipari. This era is also called the era of the one-and-dones. The program gets elite-level freshmen every year, and after just 1 year of college, the majority of them declare for the NBA draft. Cal has to practically restart his program every year because his roster starts from scratch with all the freshmen leaving, which is what makes Kentucky so enjoyable to watch, knowing that they have to restart every year. One of Kentucky's longtime rivals are the Duke Blue Devils, another great team in college basketball, and with arguably one of the best coaches of all time, Coach K. I can't pronounce his last name, so me and a lot of other sports fans just call him Coach K. With an all-time record of 2,167 wins and 884 losses as of February 22, 2019, and 5 NCAA championships, which is tied for 4th, I believe, the Duke Blue Devils have always been a top contender in the college basketball spectrum. Duke has typically been powered by experienced big men, but as of recently, they have also fallen victim to the one-and-done era. Learning the history about your personal favorite team can make you appreciate their greatness just a little bit more, and can make watching them more enjoyable overall. Today, we have taken a trip learning about the greatness of men's college basketball, from how the game started to how it is today. We looked at the evolution of basketball and what makes college basketball so unique, and two of the greatest teams in the game of college basketball. I hope that I have created some new and informed college basketball fans who are ready to watch tons of games this coming March. Thank you.